show. Always Irish show. Always Irish show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Excuse me. That's a good start. That's professional radio. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday. Weird time of the year. Well, welcome in. Happy to have you. We're in a weird in-between. Unfortunately, we have no more games to be played this year because if we did, it'd be the title game and we're not in it. Michigan's in it. And I'm still struggling to process that. But we're in this between our season ending and whatever spring ball is going to look like. And it's going to have a lot of excitement with a lot of early enrollees, new quarterback, having, Denbrock, the whole thing. There's a lot of energy there, but we're not there yet. So what we end up with is, to me, kind of this window where there isn't much going on, where you can really sit and think about a lot of things, where we've been, where we want to go, why we are where we were, and how do we get where we want to go. I like these windows of time because it's not, you have one day to think about something, and then there's a game, and then we're all distracted and we move on. You could really kind of dig into a lot of this stuff and think about it. And so we're going to do some of that. So I want to open it up to you guys. Even though I try and have like a theme of what we're going to talk about in any given call-in show, take it wherever you want. This is not, we have a game tomorrow, talk about the game. I am open to shooting wherever you guys want to shoot for the off season. So I want everybody to know that if you're thinking about calling in or emailing or chatting or whatever it is, it's kind of an open forum. And I like giving you guys the call-in line and a voice. Go wherever you want to go. So I have something specific I want to get into today, and we'll just kind of see where it goes and how long we go and how long people want to be around. Okay, so thank you for being here. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny Boy out as well. Notifications on. That way you alerted every time I drop something new. I know you don't want to miss it. That'd be a tragedy. Twitter, search bar Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. If you do not want to look at my face, I totally understand. I do. You guys have no idea how sick I get of looking at my own face. Think about it. Whenever I'm doing this or recording anything, I'm looking at myself back in the screen. Then when I go to add finishing touches and cut off the edges to make it so there's not dead time and all that, then I got to look at my face again. It's getting rough. Everywhere I look, there I am. Adam says, tell me about it. Yeah, I know. It's rough. I feel bad. Sunchance Kid, what's going on? Phil, what's going on? Hey, Phil, I need to make sure you and the family are RSVPing for the blue and gold game. I need your wife to deliver that jug of alcohol. I need you to commit, Phil. I need you and the family to tell me, John, we're definitely going to be there for blue and gold. And my wife's walking up to you with a jug of alcohol, almost as big as she is. I love it. And it's my favorite thing when she walks up with that little smile. Here you go, John. Oh my God, I love this group. I love this group. Okay. Where was I? Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc., patreon.com/alwaysirish. Me and the former captain, Mike Goolsby, behind a paywall talking about Notre Dame. What could go wrong? I don't know, but I love it, man. Thank you. James says, I'm hanging with Phil. I'm telling you, it's just the best. Phil's family's wonderful. Him, the wife, beautiful children. And his wife is this petite little short girl, just this tiny little girl. This woman just walks up in the parking lot with a jug of a Fireball, and it's bigger than she is. And she's got the biggest smile on her face. The kids are there, and it's just, here you go, John. It's just beautiful. Every time I see her, she has that smile and that jug. Here you go for the cause. It's just a beautiful thing. Angela Rudiger, you got to be there for sure. You know what I'm saying. I like having my Rudiger around. Angela, you're the one. Philip says, morning from Hobbs, New Mexico. Good morning to you, sir. I don't know how much action we get from New Mexico out New Mexico's way, but I'll take it. I love the expansion out west. I really do. So let me do a couple chats. I want to go over today this year 3 thing. I think it's real. I think real expectations are going to kick in this year. And there are reasons for that we need to go over. Things are going to change now. Getting into year 3, and I'll go over the reasons. Things are going to change now. Expectations are about to change. Any kind of like grace and leeway that we maybe had the first year and 2. We're getting far enough down the road here that I believe these things are going to change. And it's a good thing to have more expectations, more pressure, all of that. That's a good thing. And that's where this is headed. And it's going to be really, really interesting. So let me do a couple of the super chats. I don't want to miss them. And then I got a couple callers already. We'll see where they want to go. But I like getting people in. I know people are at work and all that kind of stuff. So I'll try and get you in quick so you can get back to work. Here's a good one in the chat. This is a good one. Pat says, morning, John and Always Irish Nation. Happy Friday and Happy New Year. Question. When is the deadline date for stopping to wish people Happy New Year? Curious minds want to know what the nation thinks. Cheers. Couple things. Number one is, I don't know, a week into the new year? Sometime in that first week of action after the new year seems reasonable to me. Also, though, I'm going to have a little flexibility here. Does it depend, like, if you have, like, a business associate that you work with, and then since Christmas you haven't worked with them, and then you talk to them the second or third week of January, in a business setting, is it okay to extend that window of, like, this is a client of mine, we haven't talked since the holiday rush, now we're back into it, it's the third week of January, and the guy calls you and you say, oh, yeah, buddy, by the way, I haven't talked to you yet. Happy New Year. I feel like I would extend some grace there for a business type dynamic and you're being polite and all that. Other than that, give it a week and then everybody's moved on and they gave up on their resolution already. Yeah, you're right. Like, I don't know. You ever go to the gym, my gym? Oh, the first week of January, 900 people are at the gym. This is the year I'm going to get in shape. A week and a half later, there's cobwebs on the machines. It's amazing. All those gyms got to love it. You just crank in those new membership fees, and a week and a half later, everybody's on the couch with the bag of Doritos, and they gave up on it, and they're still paying them every month. It's a racket. I'm all for people getting in shape and doing all that as a New Year's resi, but you got to get in there and do the work. You got to get in there. Homer TD. Man, I love this man. He is a special person to me, and we have a very unique bond. I appreciate him very much. $5 hour from the Homer TD. Good morning, John. Are you doing a Saturday night show? Go Irish. That is the plan, is to get back into the fun kind of weekend shows Friday or Saturday. I do think we're going to do one tomorrow night. So I'll come up with some good topics for us and maybe crack a couple lids, and we'll go from there. Look at this from Phil. Callers, I'm coming right to you. I see a few of you. When I see that there's like a few callers, I'll skip my talking points and stuff, give it to you, and I'll come back to it. We'll see where you're going to go. Let me get through these chats. If I don't do them now, I never get to them. Got to get caught up. KVA and recruits looking good at the All-American practice. Can't wait to see them on the field next year. This class is kind of the first one that I think is going to start really practically changing where this is all headed. I think you have some sleeping giant monsters in this class, some guys that are going to contribute and play early in this class, some genuine difference makers that Notre Dame has missed, and more of them. Would we all have liked 3 5-star bona fide day one starter proven? Yeah, obviously, whenever we talk about recruiting, I'm going to say I want more. Everybody wants more. Even the number one team as a guy they probably didn't get that they wanted. But this class is really, there could be some special talents in this class, and Notre Dame could use that and needs that entering the new playoff era. Jay Carr, good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Mark with glasses. NCAA needs to shut the title game down and declare Michigan ineligible. Reese failed us. It's funny that Tommy got his nickname Turnover Tommy in the 2011 collapse against Michigan. Now he's 1-4 against them. It's Mark. I'm existentially struggling with the possibility of what Monday night could end up being. I don't know how to process it. I don't know how to handle it. It's not going to be pretty. I need Washington play a good game. Like, I need Washington to, they're the last stand here, the last hope, before me in an existential breakdown. Just the whole concept that this group of cheaters and a head coach suspended twice during this year for malfeasance gets to hold up the trophy and say we're number one it offends all my football sensibilities. The easy road they add to this game offends all my football sensibilities. 11 out of 12 games were won before they were played by rolling the ball out there. And then the title game, you play a team with no offense. It's the road, the path here couldn't have been easier. Add in the cheating. It all rubs me the wrong way. Washington, Penix, be my hero. I'll be wearing Washington stuff. They'll be my number 2 team from now till forever. I'm not kidding. I mean that. Do your thing, Washington. Figure it out. Connor, what's going on? C. Jones, Corey Dean, what's going on? Back Bay, what's up? Michael Ursone. I just want some consistency offensively. No more wild swings in production. Michael, beautiful point, salient point, relevant point. That's a Mike Denbrock specialty, right? That's a part of bringing in a guy with the street cred Mike Denbrock has, the skins on the wall that he has, the experience he has is you should be able to have a more reliable level of production. Obviously, it's going to be harder to accomplish more against better defenses than bad ones. We all know that. But the baseline level of the operation should be starting at a much, much higher level. This is a guy who's seen it all, done it all, been around it all. Will put together professional game plans and pivots off them, anticipating what the DC is going to do to try and stop what we want to do. You got to think 2 to 3, 4 steps ahead. That's where I think Parker struggled because he was learning on the fly, and you can't take on too much. He was worried about figuring out one play that worked, not stringing together 2, 3, or 4, and then a different drive. What are we going to do? And then we're going to present the same look we went to 2 to 3 times, but do something else off of it to confuse them. And then he wasn't at the level where he was able to think and process down the road that much. I think that was an issue. And I'm not saying that like he's dumb. It's new and he's learning on the fly. And my hair was falling out because of it. 39 a game, though. It was 39 a game. It ain't a lie. Ain't nobody lying. It was over 39 a game. Just not the games I needed it to be. Stallion's going to be on the sidelines. Phil asked. He was at the Rose Bowl. You know he's going to be there somewhere. It all rubs me the wrong way. It's all trending to an existential breakdown for John. I do not know how I'm going to react if this goes the wrong way Monday. I don't. I just don't know. Adam. Hey, Adam, we might, Goolsby and I may have a food sponsor for the tailgates from now on. So maybe you won't have to slave over the grill. Like we're talking with some people. We may have a business that wants to sponsor food for the tailgates, Adam. You may get out of having to fire up that grill at all of our events from now on. We got some shit cooking, buddy. Bob Albee. Freeman was 7. Going to the calls in a minute, I promise. I got to get caught up. On these chats. Freeman with 7 top 25 wins last 2 years. Most of any coach in modern times, their first 2 years in the job. Bob, that's a very good point. I went over that the other day. I think I did a short bringing up this fact. And here's what's impressive about it. The schedules. Like that was a tough 2-year stretch with the schedules. And I guess that's how you end up in the position to have that many top 25 wins. Obviously, you have to play good teams, but you could lose them. And then this would never be a stat at all. Nobody would look differently at it. What impresses me the most about that is really tough 2-year stretch. I say it all the time. I remember back when I used to do the show from my old office and I'd wait till after hours and everybody left and then rip it live there. And I remember that was years ago. And I was sitting there looking at this 2-year window of this year and last year going, Kelly, you better start recruiting different or do something different before this stretch hits or we're going to be screwed city. I remember looking at this window going, Kelly, you better recruit better or this is going to get ugly. So really tough 2-year stretch. And there's a lot of frustrations and ups and downs. And to have that amount of those top 25 wins, the issue is you're Notre Dame and you're looking at those big games. And then a lot of these were like teams that aren't going to excite us, but we're in the top 25. Good job by Freeman. Also, an additional stat to this one, the 19 wins ties Weiss for the most in the first 2 years of any coach at Notre Dame. Now, that's a good one and a bad one. Some of the negative Nancys around here are going to go, why the hell should I be impressed if Freeman ties a stat Charlie Weiss had? That's not an indicator of anything good to come. Look what happened. So I understand when you're linked to Weiss in some way with the record, that's what the negatives are going to say. Pretty good work in a lot of trying times and a tough schedule, and Freeman trying to learn how to do all this on the fly and all of that. What is this? Steve Brown. Irish equals soft. What? I don't know in what regard. I'm afraid to ask. Where did that come from? Irish equals soft. Am I missing a joke? Where did that come from? Oh, man. Oh, my God. J. Carr. John, give us a Hartman impression like Goolsby did on Patreon. Sup, dude? Where's the app? Goolsby went off on the whole Hartman thing and with his hair, and when the camera pans off, then he goes, hey, dude, where's the camera with his beard? All of that. Looks like Steve Brown is a new troll that just decided out of nowhere. I've never seen this name before at all. And then this guy pops in here, and today's the day he's going to troll me and Notre Dame fans. Congratulations for winning the Pop-Tarts Bowl, Steve. We were not in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Tex ND, what's going on? Oh, man, a lot of you are work. Man, it's not ideal, you know? I don't understand what that guy's issue is. The Ohio podcast. Good to see you. Hey, Ohio podcast. I owe you an email and I want to get on a phone call with you. I work better that way. I have a bunch of things regarding your email I want to ask you about and discuss with you to get your opinion. I really do. Look at this $10. There's my guy. Happy New Year. What home game will you be at, John? The bowl game was awesome. Can't wait for year 3. Well, Miami, Ohio is going to be the tailgate. So there could be other games I go to. Although the more this show grows, the less ability I have to go to games. Like literally, I could get a press pass through USA Today and then be in the press box. And then what? Lose money? Like, that's the issue I'm running into, you guys. I could request that and be at the game and be in the press box. But I literally lose money. I don't make any more money by doing that. And then I'm not doing any of the content because I can't go live and do all that. So I'm in a weird spot. And then it's like the biggest home game of the year. If I go to it, I'm missing all this traffic and not giving you guys the show. So I'm backed into a little corner with that. So Miami, Ohio for sure. Anything else we'll see. Anything else we'll see. Will he be art again? I don't know. I can't answer that. That's a personal problem. T-Rex with the $2 holler. 347. Gotcha. On the 347. Steve Brown just came out of the woodwork. I don't know if this is Steve Brown, a Michigan fan, like feeling himself, or what are we doing here? Is that what we're doing? He's taking an early victory lap on the cheating tour this year. What, Philip? Absolutely, some players that will play and contribute this year. We're finally competing for the best talent against top-tiered schools. Blue chip ratio's up. Depending on where you look, top 100 prospects is up. Also, this is an underrated feature of Freeman's staff. Freeman's staff does a better job of evaluating talent and knowing what they're looking at than previous Notre Dame staffs have done. And that's how you're going to have them end up finding some 3-star guys and end up playing great and all that. I feel that their evaluations are very specific and particular. And like there's a roadmap there. And that gives me some additional layers of comfort in Notre Dame's recruiting operation that I've not had for a long time. And so I do like that. Sloppy Joes. I know how you kids like them. I made it extra sloppy for you. ND fan. I love random characters in movies that end up like being hilarious. And the Sloppy Joe lady in Billy Madison, there's no need for her to be there. There's no need for her to say what she says. And it's just a hilarious scene. You're scaring us, lady. Sloppy Joe. Indy fans waited all year to rag on Tommy. Get out of your feelings. The guy took the #1 team to OT, even though he has a glorified running back playing quarterback. Whatever, man. I didn't wait all year. I gave him a hard time early in the year when they couldn't do anything with their talent. I didn't wait all year. Oh, man. We need to go undefeated next year. No reason not to. Yeah, it's a lot easier to say than it is to do, is one thing I've realized. $20 holler from Tom Chris. Again, another couple I need to see at the Blue and Gold tailgate. I hope you guys go. Good morning, John. New year, new expectations, new excitement, and go Washington. Keep up the good work. See you at the spring game. There we go. Beautiful. Chicken nuggies for John. Oh, man. Imagine giving Reese credit for Alabama winning. I don't know. I would give anyone credit if they knocked off Michigan. It doesn't matter. I have nothing personal against Tommy. Tommy has goals to be Notre Dame's head coach one year. Everybody wrap your mind around that. Tommy has real life goals to end up Notre Dame's head coach at some point down the road. That's important to him. That's important to him. Steve Brown, tough schedule, Johnny. Did they make any more service academies? Are you a Michigan fan? You had 11 bye weeks out of 12 games. And then I'll make it 12 out of 13 if you include the championship game. If you are a Michigan fan, do not tell me anything about schedules. You literally had a bye week 12 out of 13 weeks this year. You played one team all year. And they have a coach born on third base that coach scared against an interim coach. 12 of 13 weeks were gimmies, bye weeks, a total joke. So especially if this dude is a Michigan fan, you got to stop that. It was a bye week, 12 out of 13. Notre Dame sucks. Oh my God, dude. Wow, man, you came up with the slick burn there. I've never heard that one before. Notre Dame, Notre shame. Oh, you got me. Slick burn, bro. Oh, that's really funny. All right, let's see what the callers got today. And here's the other thing, too. The call-in line was a little weird the other day when I brought it up. If I bring you up and it sounds a little weird, I think I have a wire issue. I have like all these wires that have to plug in from the computer to the mixer to my phone to the call-in thing. I think I got a wire that like gets sitting weird. And then when you rearrange it, it sounds right. Like some BS bullshit IT issue like that. Let's see what we got though. 646 first, so then he can get back to work. Everybody on the line, stay with me. I'll get to you. Bruce, what's going on?
John, what's going on, my man? How are you?
I'm doing good. What's going on? Keep talking. I'm going to mess with this phone line, Bruce. See if I can get it sounding good. What's going on?
I got you. Well, first, I want to say that obviously, you and me, we've known each other. We've been friends for a few years now. And clearly, I'm a diehard Irish fan. But I'm going to say some things that's going to piss off a lot of people listening and watching the show. I was so happy when Michigan beat Alabama. Oh, my gosh. And you know why. You know me, so you know why.
I do. And for the group, Bruce is down south in Florida, SEC land. He really, really does not like the SEC and the superiority complex that they carry themselves with. And so Bruce is a Notre Dame fan who just hates the SEC so much, he would rather have Michigan win. That's kind of the dynamic we're in.
That is correct. And so it really warmed my heart to see the bully of the block, Alabama, get bullied by Michigan. Now, that said, just listening to some of the stuff you were saying, so you were talking about the easy path. So, me being journalistically trained, my question is, objectivity is really important to me. So I wanted to ask you, if Notre Dame had the quote-unquote easy path schedule Michigan had, do you think they get the same result? That's kind of what I wanted to – that really, stuck out to me that you were talking about easy path.
Wow. I mean, that's a great question. Dr. John, good to see you, man. Missed you, buddy, while I was gone, Dr. John. Do we think we'd get the same result? That's a very tough question. I don't know. You mean if Notre Dame played their schedule this year, for instance? Is that kind of what you mean? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, we already played it. Hey, we played Ohio State. Bruce, we played Ohio State. The one overlapping team they played, we played, and we had 10 guys on the field. So I guess I got to admit no, because there's a common opponent, and one of them beat the hell out of them, and the other one had 10 guys out there. So I guess I got to tell you no. Right. And then I'm going to tell you, Bruce, I'm mad that I'm telling you no.
Of course. And I totally get that, and I'm with you. What I'm doing here is I always have to try to look at things through an objective viewpoint. That's how it's really hard for me sometimes. Obviously, it takes the joy out of being a fan, but you got to be objective. But obviously looking forward, to your point, I've been listening to everything you've been doing, and I love the moves Marcus is making and how the team is getting just so much faster, so much more athletic. The coaching staff seems to be vastly improved, and really, really looking forward to next season and seeing how that goes down.
Bruce, can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Can I ask you this?
Of course.
And I know, all the things you've mentioned, the coaching staff seeming to kind of come together, Freeman's more experienced, the roster's flipping over, getting more athletic. All of those are, to me, reasons for genuine optimism. Is that neutral? Is that like an objective viewpoint of this? Or guys like me and you, are we just looking for reason to buy in to get us through the offseason with Notre Dame a hope again? I think these are all valid reasons to start buying in and believe that we're about to enter a really fun era of Notre Dame football that's exciting. I don't think it's a stretch. I think there's legitimate reasons for Notre Dame fans to consider buying in that we're about to start what could be a fun ride.
I think you're absolutely right, John. And I think that even beyond, our fandom, I think that it's fair to say that there is real legitimate reason for optimism. And I think that Notre Dame has an opportunity to really be a semifinal team next year. I do. And the only concern I have, I'm not impressed with Riley Leonard. So it's going to be up to the coaching to get him up to speed in the passing game. We know he's athletic, but I'm concerned about him in the passing game. So we'll see what we get there.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. The other thing that's on my mind, Bruce, is tell me if you've thought of this as well. Riley Leonard is a gifted runner. That is one of his assets, one of his strengths. Notre Dame's going to have a newer, younger offensive line that is going to probably struggle a little bit, getting going and all on the same page. He should be able to help balance that out with his legs to kind of help that move along so that he can, escape and make some plays while that's going on. However, Notre Dame's not going to want to get too frisky with that because you don't want that guy out there getting dinged and hit all over the place. So it is going to help his mobility. Right. Notre Dame's not going to want to overdo it and get him banged up.
Yeah, no, that's correct. I agree with that. Quick side note, I actually know the strength and conditioning head coach from Notre Dame lacrosse. So after I watched Faison go off in the Tony the Tiger Bowl, I guess that's the name, right? The Sun Bowl. Yeah, the Sun Bowl. I actually texted him and I said, hey, you better take care of our guy Faison because we're gonna need him next season to continue to be the impact player that he is.
Yeah, it just man, listen, Bruce, with the Faison, I love what he's doing and his emergence. I'm frustrated that Notre Dame was ever in the Dame was ever in the position that they needed him to do that, if that makes sense. Do I got you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, got you. And then the other thing, Bruce, is we're talking about these quarterbacks. The next question is going to be who stays and who goes. That's going to be the next question. And when we get through spring ball, do Angeli and Minchie still stick around? If Riley Leonard's clearly going to be the starter, that is another question Notre Dame fans are going to have. Where'd you go? Bruce, you got disconnected, buddy. Thanks for the call. Let's keep it moving. I got a 419, another 419. I got a 347. You're all coming up right now. 419, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on?
Not much. Just kind of taking a holistic look at kind of where Notre Dame's at, where we want him to go, trying not to think about what could happen Monday night. Those are some things on my mind. Where's yours at?
Yeah, I kind of did the same. I've got a few reasons that this is the most excited I've been going into a season, and
here we go again. Here we go again, man. We're all buying back in, and I keep telling myself there's reasons it could be different this time, but here we go again, man. We're going out. We're diving in, baby.
I know. Well, hear me out, because I kind of reverse engineered what was wrong with this past season, and I kind of looked at 5 games. Like NC State, we remember that game pulling our hair out. They had like half the possessions were 3 and outs. Ohio State, 14 points, couldn't move the ball. Yeah.
Duke a struggle. Louisville a struggle. Clemson a struggle. Wake slow or Stanford slow start. Yep.
And you add Riley Leonard and, his mobility, what he's going to be able to do with the run game and, the RPOs and I think what they're going to be able to do is I think they're going to be able to throw when they want to throw, not just when they have to, like when they're behind the chains. And, like I keep seeing people being down about Riley Leonard and, this past year he was, banged up and hurt this time, but that full season he had 3,700 yards and 33 touchdowns. People forget he was the leading rusher on that team. He had 700 rushing yards.
Let me ask
you this. He was doing
everything.
Everything.
Let me ask you this too. This is something that's really been on my mind. Do you think that Notre Dame fans are not going to buy in to Leonard the way many did with Hartman? Because it just ended up not working out. We went 9-3, and you learned that he wasn't a guy who on his own could raise the level of all that and win the biggest games with the team on his shoulders. And I believe there is some of that where the excitement for that next transfer portal quarterback isn't going to be as high because people were like, okay, we already did that. He had a boatload of stats and we lost 3 games and he couldn't do anything against the good teams either. I feel like that's a part of this that's getting into people's minds where they're like, I'm not falling for that again. It didn't work last time. I think that's part of it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think there's that hesitancy to buy in because, Hartman and Freeman did that world press tour where they were buddies going around and then the way it worked out, funny enough, I was kind of thinking about the odd history that Notre Dame has with quarterbacks and most recently with that, Sam Hartman deal. But I don't know why I was thinking about Bino Cook guaranteeing the 2 Heisman.
Yeah. Oh, Bino. Dude,
for Ron Powless.
Bino Cook, man, that brings me back to my childhood. My dad and my grandpa and Bino and the younger people in their like 20s, they probably have no idea who that old boy was. But I love myself some Bino Cook.
Yeah, but he's the best quarterback in the country coming in, and Bino Cook said that. And then the other one was Jimmy Clausen when he took the limo to the College Football Hall of Fame to commit. And I just feel like they should do a documentary on the Notre Dame quarterback history. It's just so comical.
Yeah, it's wild. And it used to be wild for a different reason. Like, unfortunately, meaning Heisman's, meaning like NFL great guys. Like, I'm just saying. And now it's amazing for different reasons. Yeah, you know how I always say nothing's normal with Notre Dame? Nothing Notre Dame does is normal. In what world do you have 2 of your recent starting quarterbacks come back to school not to be on the football team? Like, it is the most bizarre scene of all time. Two of our recent starting quarterbacks are coming back, and neither one of them are even playing football. It's wild to me, but this is Notre Dame, baby. Like, it's something about Notre Dame. Everything is extra. Everything is extra.
Yeah, there's only like 3 or 4 quarterbacks I care for since '88. So.
Yeah. And
then the other
Mark, here's the other thing I got to ask you. I got to ask you this. I feel like some of the hype has cooled on CJ Carr. And I don't know if people are getting excited about Deuce. There's still a lot of Notre Dame people that are all bought in on Carr, but there's a lot that are kind of starting to cool on what his potential could be. I think already looking to Deuce. I don't know the realities of that, but I'm excited to see the kid throw the ball as an early enrollee in this spring.
Yeah, that's weird. And then the other reason I'm super optimistic is the manageable schedule. And I keep seeing people questioning that. And I'm thinking, did you look at the schedule? We got 2 MAC teams. And, people are worried about A&M. Give me a break. Purdue, Navy, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Virginia. All those teams suck.
Yeah, here's the thing, man. I think the key's Texas A&M out of the gate. I just do. I think if we're trying to talk about momentum and Notre Dame turning the page and getting more serious and all that, and the new playoff and all that, I don't care like what Texas A&M is going to be ranked. You're not going to be able to maintain any momentum if you don't win that game. It's just a requirement. You got to go to a road game in the SEC and you need to win it. And then we're off to the races. There's an accelerant. And it's the kind of game Notre Dame does not usually win and has not usually won. You got to find a way to go in there and win that one week one. I love you, Mike Elko. Not that week.
No way. I mean, if we lose that game, what the hell are we even doing?
I mean, it's going to be, you're going to have a long fall. You're going to have a long fall then because it's week one, baby. It's week one. And they do have talent. I mean, it's just not all put together, but you know they have talent. It just hasn't been corralled correctly, put all together. But I know they got some talent.
Yeah, they're not going to be where we are.
They got some. They got that oil money.
Louisville, Florida State, and USC. That's it.
They got that oil money, baby. Yeah, and again, USC is going to be interesting. What do they look like rebuilt? And then again, that's going to be at the very end of the year, so you're going to have a lot of ground to cover before then. But that schedule definitely does lighten up a little bit. But you got a tough one, week one. You don't have 4 weeks to ease into this.
Well, quote unquote tough one. Texas A&M, give me a break.
But I just think it's the situation, though. It's going to be a night SEC road game. I just think that and it's week one, so it's going to be built up. Like that game is going to be magnified outside of what it is in reality to me because of all the surrounding details, and you got to find a way to win it.
Yeah, that would be a total embarrassment to lose that game.
You got to win it or you're going to lose all the momentum, any good feelings you're going to have in the spring, any of this positivity. We're all going in the right direction. I'm telling you, if you don't win that one, it's going to be rough.
Well, I'm excited. I think people need to give Riley Leonard a chance and
yeah, he deserves that. Riley Leonard shouldn't have people doubting him just because Sam Hartman didn't end up being as good as we all wanted, right? Like you gotta, I look at it that way. And I do hope even though he got a bunch of NIL money and the other guys quarterbacks don't or whatever, I really do hope there's a good competition and I want to see Steve push him. I don't want anything to be guaranteed.
People have to remember, he was on Duke. He was the leading rusher. He didn't pass a whole lot, but he had a few games that when he played Hartman, when he was at Wake Forest, he had 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, he's done it.
Yep. I really think his legs are going to open things up a lot. It's going to open Denbrock to be able to have a defense worry about way, way more than they ever had to worry about with Hartman back there, where the running wasn't a key feature to his game. He could do it if he needed to, but it wasn't a key feature that you would scheme up. This is different. So I think Notre Dame's going to be able to test defenses in a very different way and force them to have to play more straight up.
He's a big ass dude. Short yardage is going to be automatic.
He is.
And then we got probably the most explosive running back we've had since I don't know when.
These backs are going to be so fun. These backs are going to be so much fun. I love the guys we have already and the guys coming in this next class. The running backs are going to be so much fun to watch. And I'm so glad Price and Love are going to get their chance. It's going to be exciting.
Can you imagine if they put Love on kick return?
I know. I want to see it.
I wonder why.
I want to see it. I don't know either, but I want to see it. Or can Cam Williams return punts as a youth? Are we against that? I don't care. Give me something. Give me something.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see with him, but Love, every time he touches the ball, I have that is he going to take it to the house? His first carry in the Sun Bowl, I thought he was gone, but
yeah,
it's just that quick.
Man,
get to the line of scrimmage speed.
Yeah, he is. it's going to be fantastic. And pricing him as like a 1-2, however you wanted to work that, you're not going to have like that lead estimate type back, but you're going to have both of those guys and then figure out who's best at doing what. I love the blend. It should be really, really fun.
It's going to be awesome. Well, thanks for taking my call.
No problem, man. Have a really good day, and always nice speaking to you, man. Take care.
All right. See you. Bye.
See ya. Let's go. 347, and then I got another 419. 347, good morning. What's going on? If the phone... Oh, there we go.
What's up, bud? Long time no speak. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Hey, what's up, man? It has been a while. I would think it was late October when I last talked to you, according to the call-in line. What's up?
Yeah, nothing much. Overall, I guess things are looking up. I guess I'm calling. Well, actually, I want to address something. Bruce, the caller on the line, a couple calls ago, asked a question, and he was talking about objectivity. And how would ND have done against Michigan's schedule this year? I think it'd be fair to say that Notre Dame probably would have lost to, well, they did lose to Ohio State. I think they probably would have lost to Penn State as well. Would you agree with that?
I mean, that the Penn State one would have been really interesting because they're built like Notre Dame was built. Good defense, no offense. So
50-50.
that would have been
50,
a battle.
50-50.
That would have been a battle of like who gets a pick six or something, the way those offenses both were, man. It was scary. And I get Bruce's point. It's just, I openly admit my anti-Michigan way of life. And that does cloud how I view them because I hate them and I hate their fans and I hate their media, and it's never going to change till the day I die. And that day may be Monday night. Take care of business, Washington.
You know what? I will say this. I want to put a positive spin on the fact that Michigan and Washington are playing for the championship. I know we hate Michigan, but Michigan and Washington are very similar to Notre Dame, and they're both prestigious academic universities. I know Michigan's cheating or whatever, but there are academic standards there. They do exist. We hate on them. That's fine, but they don't recruit like Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State. They are very much built like Notre Dame in terms of 3 and 4 stars, as of course is Washington. And so, I'm happy that it's not Georgia again or Alabama again. I'm getting a little tired of that.
Well, wait. I'm getting tired of it too, but I would choose Georgia and Alabama winning over Michigan 100 days out of 100 in a row. Like, I agree with you. I'm sick of it, but the alternative can't be somebody I hate more. Like, that's the part that's killing me.
Sure. Well, let me add this. I got to be honest. For the championship game, I'm picking Penix. Michigan under Halbrough, although they've been trending up, they've been incredibly flaky. Look at their game against TCU last year. You look at the year before, getting smoked by Georgia. They're lucky they didn't play Georgia this year. They're lucky Alabama did the work for them, because if they played Georgia's just a much better version of them. They would have gotten smoked. I would not be surprised if Penix tears them up on Monday and Washington wins it. I just think Michigan's due for a faulty game. I got to believe it's coming.
Man, they've had.
I don't.
Dude, everything's come up aces for them on the field. Every critical moment of these games, like towards the end, they made the play. Like it feels like they're a team of destiny that doesn't deserve it. Like they have it all going, their vibe, they're all bought in, us against the world. Everything. And here's the part that would really bother me. Goolsby and I talked about this on Patreon. What would really bother me is if Michigan wins it and then Harbaugh goes to the NFL as a martyr. He would be the ultimate Michigan Messiah martyr forever. None of them would look at it as like he's shamed and has to walk away. It would be, you won the title, now you're being persecuted, and he would walk on water like Jesus. And I hate that narrative. I hate that narrative. He'd be the ultimate martyr.
Yeah, I don't like I don't like any narrative in which Michigan wins. I don't think they're gonna. I actually like Washington. I think they're more battle tested, but that's not why I called. I actually called to discuss an overview of this season, and I want to give you credit. I had called in July, I believe it was, before the season started. and I said, John, gun to your head, what do you think the outcome of the season is? And you said 9-3, and I'm mad. And I want to give you credit for it. And I'm mad too. I think the season had many different chapters, if you will. I think the first 4 games of the season, we were definitely peaking. Everyone was healthy. We were scoring a lot of points. We blew out North Carolina State. They ended up being a decent team. I think the fatal blow was Ohio State. That was definitely crippling to their spirit. I think that our players and coaches knew they had that game and they gave it up. Your call-in show after was phenomenal. My third favorite show of all your shows, Miami and Michigan. Those post games were still my favorite.
Man, dude, you have odd taste. You prefer the ones where I'm at stroke level. Like you're picking them up. Like
I am too.
Man, I'm telling you, those are the hardest shows I've ever done. Are all the ones you've referenced where I'm so miserable. I'm so mad I can't even think straight. Miami 17, Michigan 19, and then Ohio State this year. Those were the worst shows I've done. The most miserable shows I've ever done. The most important shows I've ever done in a lot of ways, to be honest. But they were miserable, but it had to be done. Content's king.
And they were the most relatable shows that you ever did. And they were therapeutic. And, it's real. And it's real. And, losing to Ohio State this year was a fatal blow. I think we were gassed out after that. The game at Duke showed it, squeaking that one out. But we were way better than Duke. I know they played up this year. The talent isn't comparable. We should have smoked them. And then it rolled into Louisville. We got what we got there. Clemson, very, very similar team to us. A couple losses when we played at their house. Similar talent. I actually didn't expect to win that game, but to Freeman's credit, to the players' credit, they rebounded nicely. 3 consecutive blowout wins, including the bowl game. We addressed the quarterback situation with Riley Leonard. We addressed the wide receiver room with the incoming wide receivers, the signing of Denbrock. I think overall, things looking up. Much lighter schedule next year. Yeah. Like the previous caller just mentioned, I'm not afraid of Texas A&M. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not. It's going to take them a while to get things going. Elko's a great coach, but first game of the year, we're the team that's trending up. And
can I ask you this?
Sure.
I have 2 things I want to ask you. Thank you for. I always like when you call, man. You have a unique way of kind of organizing your thoughts and presenting points. I like it, man. It's good to hear from you again. It's been a while.
That's a pleasure.
Let me ask you this. What do you make of Notre Dame's rough starts on the road for almost most of the road games? Like Louisville just started really bad. Clemson started slow. Duke, you started slow. Like NC State, you started slow. I want to know what you make of it feeling like Notre Dame was ready to go from out of the gate at home, and on the road they had some issues there. What do you make of that? Is that just situational, or is there something we're not doing right? Because it really bothers me that we weren't ready to go on the road right away.
Sure, it absolutely bothers me as well. I think that it's a product of a second-year head coach. I think it's a product of the fact that, in particular this season, I think the wind was taken out of our sails against Ohio State. I think it was parlayed the following weeks. Although Duke was, they were good and Louisville was good, we outclassed them. I know we do. If we played them 10 times, we beat them 9. I just don't think we played to our potential. And I think, again, that's a product of a second-year head coach that is definitely trending up. I think on a positive, we have seen the floor with Freeman. I think on a positive, we have seen the floor with NIL. And what I mean is Sam Hartman. I think this was a positive, the way things turned out this year. All right, a positive should be winning. We didn't. We went 9-3. But I think the fact that he came here, we went 9-3. He was a Wake Forest quarterback, 6-year guy. We gave him a chance. And, they still went 9-3. We have it looks like we have an open door liberal policy in terms of bringing people in for improvement. I think that's a good thing. I think that's the way we can finally close the gap with some of these teams that traditionally recruit us, like Georgia and Alabama. I think this is our shot.
Yeah, it's definitely, I believe there are legitimate reasons to feel that we're trending in the right direction. And I wrote an article for USA Today and then put out a video last week, I think, saying if Notre Dame fans are asking, should I buy in? Is there a reason to buy in? I listed I think a half dozen ways this is being built differently. And that is my number one reason for hope, is that this is being put together differently than any way we've seen a Notre Dame program be built since Lou left, 25, 30 years. They're doing things way differently, way more modern. That gives me genuine hope that maybe some different results are coming down the road. Maybe I'm wrong, but at least I see Notre Dame trying to build it differently, because the way we did it for 25 years didn't work. So I like seeing a new way. I love that. Gives me hope.
I read the article. You had mentioned it the other day on your on your show. I agreed with every point you made. I think that, in addition to a lighter schedule, in addition to Freeman being in his third year, in addition to obtaining a Denbrook, in addition to just being more polished overall as a program, and having a better sense of where they're looking to go, I'm very optimistic going into next year. I usually feel this way, and I've been disappointed, as has many other fans, of course. 10-2, I gotta agree, is definitely the floor. I'm not afraid of FSU at home. I'm not afraid of Louisville at home. Texas A&M, that's the fifth best team in the SEC. And now when you include Oklahoma and Texas, the middle of the road SEC team, on the road, I get that might be tricky. I know they recruit well. I just don't think they're going to be ready for us.
Yeah,
the team I fear
sure. Let me throw in one thing on A&M, and then you can finish. To me, it's more about the moment that is than the team that it is, if that makes sense to you. It isn't that I'm worried they're all great, great and put together. It's more just the right out of the gate, week one, road game, SEC night game, new quarterback, new O-line. It's the circumstances of it all, not necessarily that group, but the circumstances of the whole dynamic of it. It's going to be a blown up, oversized first week. And that's just always interesting. Notre Dame's got to be ready. You got to win that one, damn it. Find a way.
Yeah, I agree with your points. It's not opening up at Ohio State, though. It's not opening up at Alabama. It's not opening up at Georgia. This is a middle-of-the-road SEC team that's underachieved the past couple of years. They're finding themselves. They've got a good head coach. They're just not going to be gelling when we go in there. And I don't see any reason why we can't beat them by a touchdown plus. If we are the team we think we're going to be, that's a game we got to win. If you want to be a playoff team next year, you got to win that game.
Yep.
You have to win that game, because Texas A&M is not making the playoff next year.
Yeah.
You mark it right now. They're not going to be in the final 12. I strongly believe Notre Dame will be. And because of that reason, I think we beat them. I think we should beat them. The team I fear next year is USC. Why? Because I think they very much underachieved this year, which they in fact did at 7-5. There's a lot more talent there than in which their record illustrated. And we get them last game of the year before the playoffs. And that could be detrimental in terms of us getting in or us not getting in, depending upon how the rest of the season goes. So that's going to be, and Riley's a winner.
It being week
Riley's
12.
He's going to write that ship.
Yeah, it being week 12 is interesting, just because there's just a long time to get to that. And even when we're into the season, it's a long time to, what do you look like by the time you reach the end of it? Same thing I said when you and I did this experiment looking at this season, heading into it. The Clemson game was the one I don't know how I feel about that because I need to feel the circumstances. Are both teams in a playoff race and we go to Death Valley? Is one team in a playoff race and we go to Death Valley? Turns out neither was, and we went to Death Valley.
Right.
So anyways, anything.
That's another one. They're gonna bounce back, but it's not like it's gonna be our immediate problem because we don't see them on the schedule. But Dabo's a proven winner. He'll get things figured out. They'll bounce back, and I will. I'll let you go with this if I may. I just want to wish my brother Brian a happy birthday. I got a lot of friends and family that tune into your show, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to say that. And thank you so much for taking my call, John.
No problem, man. Happy birthday to your brother, and pour one out for the Irish, and God bless you, man. Hey, it's good. Call me back once in a while, man. I really like the way you present things. Call me back. I love it. Thank you.
Take care, John. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Man, that guy loves Notre Dame and loves calling this show, and I love that, man. Roger Dodger. USC is trying defense this year. I want to know how that's going to go for you guys. You're trying defense this year, and we're going to try offense. It's going to be a really interesting thing, man. Oh, Roger, I love you, man. Roger, you're all over too. Roger bounces around a lot of these shows, and he ends up in all my circles, man. I bounce over to Pigskin Pete. There's Roger, man. I think I've seen him on Uncle Lou or Mark Rogers. He's always there in my little circle of all these people. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Adam Dowling says, just beat LSU week 1. Yeah, that's a big one right away. Steve Brown, he's still on that 2019 Notre Dame Michigan game, 45-14. It was a long night for Johnny. It was a long night. That was a Brian Kelly special, baby. That is the quintessential 419. I'm coming to you. That was the quintessential big game Brian Kelly performance. That 2019 at the Big House game, where this was not a talent disparity issue. It was just big game DK. The game was lost before it was won. Notre Dame got bullied all night. Do you remember the play where one of their linemen blocked one of our guys like 15 yards off the field and steamrolled them? That game was lost before it even got kicked off, and I blame Brian Kelly 100%. That was not a talent difference of 45-14. It was a mental difference of Brian Kelly. Unbelievable. 419, what's going on? Happy Friday. Maybe. There we go. What's going on? Good morning.
John, I am not doing well knowing the fact that Michigan is playing for a national title.
Oh, I know. This has already gotten too far. Like it's already gotten too far. Every bit of the way, I'm going Ohio State, Ryan Day, pull out the win to prevent this. Then they make it, and I'm going, okay, maybe Alabama and Tommy could be the one to stop this. No. And now Washington's my last hope for my sanity.
Yeah, I've heard a couple people talking high about Washington, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a pessimist, but I'm just bracing myself for Monday, man.
I know.
Really, I just had a quick question for you. Since you interact with the fan base a lot, I'm just very curious to hear about what you've seen with like the thoughts of the program. Like, is it going in the right direction? With this off season, 3 weeks ago, it was the end of the world. And now it seems that, we're riding high. Are we as fans expecting too much like now, or are we at a pretty good point? I mean, the Denbrock hire was a home run.
It's a good question. I feel like for as rough as those few days were right after the end of the Stanford game, after that, Notre Dame has been hitting home runs. You had a good signing day where you didn't lose anybody. Nobody played any games with you. So you had a good signing day. The transfer portal, you did a pretty good job. You got the quarterback you wanted. We could debate how good he is all day, but that's quarterback Notre Dame wanted, and they got some other help in the portal. You blow out Oregon State in the bowl game. You replace the wide receiver guy pretty quickly, and he's already working. You got a strength guy that is highly thought of in that industry that has a unique background with it. And then you have Denbrock on top of it. All of that is legitimately trending straight up. Like, that's objectively, those are all really, really good things that are trending up. However, like you said, dealing with the fans as much as I do and the emails and all the stuff that comes in, man, there's a lot of people that are jaded with Notre Dame. They love them more than anything. They love them, love them, love them. It's in their heart. It's in their family. But they are so hurt from 30 years of not winning anything and buying in and being let down. There is a lot of people in this fan base that love Notre Dame, but they take a negative glass half empty to emotionally hedge and protect because they've been burned so many times. That is a real phenomenon, and I see it with a lot of Notre Dame fans that are negative. It's not that they hate Notre Dame. It's that they love Notre Dame and they just can't process the pain. That's what I see.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It reminds me a lot of like my entire family's all Notre Dame fans. And, you know, the older ones are a lot more, you know, they remember the good times. But my brother is just Mr. Negativity all the time. I was talking to him, you know, about this offseason yesterday, and he's just, it's just like, man, like, you really got to spill like my glass of milk to ruin my day. Like, just be grateful that this coach, that this program is making good moves for once. Because in my lifetime, I don't remember a Notre Dame team that has made improvements in every facet that has been identified.
Man, that's a very good way to look at it. Here's where I'm at, man. When people ask me, John, how is anything really changing any different than we talk about everything, whatever? When is the last time that you saw me look at a Notre Dame program and identify what I'm most worried about that is a weakness to us? And it would maybe with the OC would have been that my biggest concern. And then Notre Dame's in a position to make a move there, and they upgrade to the number one possible guy you could get that's a home run, with no downside and all upside and no risk at all. I can't remember a time Notre Dame upgraded my biggest concern into a clear positive with no downside. That is modern progress. Notre Dame doesn't make those moves, and they made that move.
Yeah, they definitely have. And I mean, I'm just thinking back to my lifetime. I mean, you know, Big Game Brian would always hold on to staff like just for so long. And like, it's refreshing to see, you know, Freeman, you know, there had to have been some backdoor there with Parker, you know, saying like, hey, you should probably find a new job. Because it just seemed too good of a coincidence. I don't know if there's like an insider on that, but it just seemed like it seemed to fit like very well. But
yeah,
appreciate you taking the call, John. Have a good new year, man. I'll call next time.
Beautiful, man. Thank you. Call again. Thanks for touching base, man. Have a good weekend. Take care, buddy. Take care, buddy. Jacob, $10 hour. Thank you. Giving money for the call-in lines as a part of my teeth. Happy Friday, John. It's time for new Notre Dame for year 3. Legendary meeting modernity. Go Irish, go Huskies, and I hate Michigan. Oh, man. Look, Desiree White. Unbelievable. Notre Dame, LSU in a playoff game next season, speaking it into existence. You want to talk about some TV numbers? You want to talk about a ramp up and a build up? It's unbelievable. It would be unbelievable. And that's another part of the reason, you guys, 618, you'll be up next. That's another part of the reason when it was talked about that Notre Dame could line up with LSU this year in a bowl game, that's part of the reason I really didn't want that to happen is what a waste of a Brian Kelly against Notre Dame matchup to have it be with nothing on the line. Like, I don't want that. Nick, I think so. I haven't really talked to Pat about it. I just send him the links when I go live, and if he's available, he joins. Because Pat has a life and all those kids, and they're coming and going and all that. I just send him the link, and if he jumps on, he jumps on. I just make it available to him, Nick. But I didn't want that LSU matchup this year because I wanted it with something on the line where we're debating elite. I didn't want Notre Dame and Freeman to face Kelly and LSU, and we're debating who has 4 losses or 3. Yeah, drunk. I'm scared of Rafino. I'm scared of a guy who's done way more videos than me and doesn't have the numbers I have. I'm terrified of that guy's beard, let me tell you. Unbelievable. I don't know who that guy is. He's been doing it a long time, but he ain't got the numbers. So he ain't doing something right. He ain't what he thinks he is. He ain't what he thinks he is. He's got all the answers, and he believes in Brian Kelly. So I know we don't have the answers. I'm telling you, though, SEC, LSU, I expect Rafino to put up numbers. If you're gonna run the mouth he does, you better make sure that when you're telling me I'm nothing, you have bigger numbers than me, asshole. That's the issue I have with Rafino. When you want to run your mouth about me and who the hell are you on Twitter and all that I got into with him, who the hell are you? You're saying who the hell are me? I got bigger numbers than you do. And you're covering the SEC where football's life. You should have better numbers than me then. Not coming at me on Twitter going, who are you, bro? Who the hell are you? I should be asking him who the hell you are. Because you've been doing it longer than I am in a bigger football market than you are, and you ain't got my numbers. So my question's flipped. You shouldn't come at me on Twitter asking who are you. I'm asking who the hell are you? He's got 2 shows that do no numbers. His own and then another one with somebody. Neither one of them's pulling numbers. And he's coming to me asking who I am. Who are you? Who is you? Who is you? Not who's me. You got to do your research. You got to do your research. If you're going to attack me on Twitter with the insult of who are you? You know, when somebody puts something out, it's like, who are you? You have no credibility and no voice. If you're going to do that and come at me with that, you better make sure you have better numbers than me, and you don't. So who am I? No. Who are you? Who are you? You got to do the research. You got to do the research before you come at me like that. Who are you? No, who are you? Blake? Block A? Actually, I do want to give the LSU YouTube community some credit. They got some fun stuff. Man, I like some of the LSU. I got into that. When Kelly got that job, I got into following the LSU beat. And who's on first? Yeah. When Kelly got that job, I started following LSU media just to the interest of how they were looking at Kelly compared to how we look at him and all that. They got some fun shows. I forget which one it is. They do one of them does the live post-game show like I do right after games. And they do them from like a cigar bar in New Orleans. And there's like a bunch of people drinking in the background, smoking cigars. They set up chairs, go live. People are drunk, yelling in the background, interrupting. It's a really fun show. And so I do enjoy a lot of that. Drunk says, we need Rafino on here. Here's the problem. I'm not in the business of giving people that are at a lower level number-wise than me a prop up when they're assholes. if you are a nice person like the Ohio State group in here, the Ohio podcast guys, getting started with their show, but they're really nice, respectful, like my work, like what I do. Those are people I'm happy to help build. But what I don't do is punch down. I'm not having a guy that has lower numbers than me on my show so he could benefit. Absolutely not. I ain't that dumb. You don't punch down like that. You don't give a guy like that an opportunity to rise off what you're doing. I ain't no dummy. I know how to do this. So, no, I have no interest in doing that at all. I'm not trying to help him build his numbers. He can keep yelling about LSU and doing lower numbers. Fine. Who are you? Who the hell are you? Who's on first? 618, let's make it great. Good morning.
Hello. What? Hey, how you doing, John?
I'm doing very well. I would like to know, what are you thinking, man? We're in a little in-between period here.
Man,
After the year, not into spring ball. Where's your mind at, man? Are you thinking of this Michigan game, or are you blocking it out? What's going to happen?
Man, I'm blocking it out right now. I just want to see what's going on, man, and see where we go and how we. I'm not going to be too down on Riley, even though I think that we should have gave one of our own in-house quarterbacks opportunity. But I'm not going to be too down about it, and I'm not going to be excited about it either, you know.
Yeah, I do think Denbrock is going to change things a lot, and Leonard's mobility is going to open the options a lot. I think you're going to see an offense that's capable of testing a defense in a different way next year. I really do.
Yeah, hopefully, man, we win 11 games, and I think we only got 11 games so far this year.
Yeah. I think they're talking about Army at Yankee Stadium being that 12th one. Am I dreaming that? Why is that in my mind? Somebody tell me if I'm incorrect. I thought they were talking about maybe do an Army at Yankee Stadium to fill that spot. I don't know.
Oh man,
that's what they were talking about. But then they're changing their schedule or conference alignment or something, and then they're negotiating now whether they could still have that game. That's why it hasn't been announced. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, and then, you know, but I think, the offense will be changed, man. I'm so happy that you know, I'm not going to say that guy's name, but that guy is gone, man. Now we get to see hopefully what a real offense looks like, man. You know, we don't know and I still think that, man, I was excited even about him. I'm like, maybe he's on to something with Riley Leonard, and then easing the way over to Deuce Knight, you know, for 2025.
Oh, man.
You know.
Man, I'm telling you, Goolsby, when we do the Patreon, all he does is look at film and break down these bodies and recruits and train them. He goes, John, Deuce Knight's kind of athlete Notre Dame does not get. Like at quarterback, he said, John, this guy is it. He's got to get polished. It's real loose. But he says that is the physical athlete Notre Dame doesn't get. So I'm excited.
Yeah, then I'm kind of happy it wasn't no drama this year on the recruiting. Man,
yeah, I know.
Like the debacle last year with
I know
with the 5-star safety.
You know what though, man? Hey, I want some drama on signing day of us stealing guys. I'm not against the drama. I just am against it when it's us losing guys.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm gonna say something, man. You probably not gonna like, man, because I got so much family in Tuscaloosa, man. I was so happy that Michigan beat Alabama. Now I want them to lose.
Yeah, right. It's like you have the line. You're like, it's phases. I need step 1 and then step 2. Like I get it. You have your how it would work out. Be able to have the Alabama people be mad and the Michigan people not end up being happy ultimately. I get you're threading the needle there. I like it. I like that.
Yeah, man. But I think it's going to be a special year, especially on offense. I think it's going to really be special this year.
Yeah, man, I hope so. I really hope so. I don't know, man.
I would like to see them get love. in more pass plays or
Yep.
whatever and get him in open space, maybe he could be our Reggie Bush, man.
Love talked about somewhere I saw or read, Love talked about feeling like he wants to start catching more passes and like maybe not like an actual slot guy, but like kind of a hybrid that's capable of doing more of that running back type stuff and slot stuff. Like, and all you got to do is get the ball to that guy with an inch of space and good things happen. They've got to find a way to maximize that.
I think he could be our Reggie Bush, man. I mean, like something like how USC used Reggie Bush in the 2000s.
Man, it would be an amazing benefit. And then you got the younger backs are going to be good too. I love those running backs, Price and Love,
yeah,
and Aeneas. I love it all, and that group's going to be exciting. The roster's getting more athletic. There's more guys that could test you. That's just how I see it, man. Notre Dame, that roster is turning over in a good way.
And I see that. I mean, Marcus is making his stamp. He's putting his team where like where the Ohio States and where the Georgias and Alabamas. He's putting the type of athletes on the field that they put on the field. Now we just got to go and win the big games.
Yeah, it's about winning time. Don't you agree, man? Year one, you're getting into things. Year two, you're calibrating, like I always say. Year three, man, it's a big year for Notre Dame coaches. Year three, new playoff era. There's pressure, man. I think you got to make that playoff 10-2 or better. Got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, let's get in the playoffs. I don't care if we get to the championship game. Let's just get one win. Something that Kelly has yet to do in the playoffs with anybody. Let's get one win, and we got one more win at Notre Dame in the playoffs than Kelly had with Notre Dame in the playoffs.
That's a good point. I don't know why this is so important to me. Maybe it's not, but in my mind, it is for some reason. Chesty, no, the Army game is not official. They are negotiating because Army changed conferences or something, and they don't know if they have room or want to do this game. There's a negotiation going on between Notre Dame and Army, and it is not official. What the hell was I talking about? I got off on that. Now I forgot what I was telling you.
Yeah,
that's good radio. I forgot.
As long as we get one more win than Brian Kelly, as long as Kelly not in the, I think we're going to see we're going to see the real Brian Kelly this year. I had to go to them LSU fans like, come on, man.
It's year three
Brian
for him
Kelly's
too.
real.
It's year three for him too. And Brian Kelly's been talking to the LSU media saying, I got to get to year three. He's been saying that. I got to get to year three to judge what we're doing here and all that. So year three for us, year three for that guy.
But the big question is, the $1 million question is, if Harbaugh go to the NFL Tuesday morning, do Brian Kelly stick with LSU?
I don't know. The LSU media were the ones reporting Kelly was interested in the Michigan job. It wasn't a troll like me. It wasn't a hater that covers another team. It was an LSU media guy for ESPN that said Kelly would leave to go there. And I'm hearing a lot of smoke about Harbaugh being connected to these NFL jobs. It would be really, really interesting to see. It would be really interesting.
And I had to, I seen you on Twitter talking to the LSU fan, but I let them know it's the truth. I mean, his two top offensive coordinators was Tommy Rees and Denbrock. Denbrock is now at Notre Dame. Tommy Rees turned down Brian Kelly to stay at Notre Dame and then go to the arch rival a year later. So that tells you about Brian Kelly.
Yep. It's really interesting, but I do understand that he would be like more of a northern fit. I totally get that. But the issue is, Brian Kelly has a really good deal down at LSU. He doesn't need to fake interest with his agent to put out all stuff to the media to get the market all riled up. He's got a great deal at LSU. He has no reason to falsely put anything out or have his agent do it. The whole thing's weird. So I would love Michigan to lose. Then Harbaugh leaves, and then Kelly leaves LSU. Then I win across the board. Michigan doesn't win. They lose their coach. LSU fans would be mad they lose their coach. And then I have Brian Kelly as the cult leader at Michigan. Holy shit, life's good for me if that happens.
And what would be even better if Bryce Underwood decides he want to go to Alabama. That'd be like the ultimate situation.
Yeah, it's man. And so I don't know, dude, but I am going to be anxiety riddled on Monday night. Washington's my last hope. I need Penix to do the deed. I need that offensive line of theirs to hold up and up against Michigan so he can throw the ball around a little bit. And I need that, man. Yeah. I'm not here for any world where Michigan people have bragging leverage with a title. I can't handle it.
Yeah, because I was speaking to my nephew the other day, and I was like, hey, man, he's an Ohio State fan. He said, man, I just need Michigan to lose. I said, I do too, but, man, that pass rush is, like, relentless.
Yeah, they got it going, man. And they got all the vibes, the us against the world. Everybody's against. It's a beautiful vibe they have right now. That us against the world has been promoting them, like pushing them. It's all working out for them. I need college football justice to come Monday night in the form of Washington. I need it and I want it.
Yeah, I need it also, man. I just really need them to beat.
I know.
I really need them to beat Michigan, but I just don't see it happening, man. I'm going to predict the score of this 41-31 Michigan.
Oh, man, it just hurts me. It just hurts me inside. Like, if Notre Dame's not going to win it all, I'll be upset. But it just can't be USC. It can't be Kelly, and it can't be Michigan. Those are my requirements. I can live with anything else if we don't win it. But having one of the people win it that just can't, if it isn't us, I'm going to have a really hard time dealing with it, man. I need therapy or something.
And the last thing I want to touch on, man, the Notre Dame team that we've seen against Oregon State, I think they could have beat that team right there. Could have beat LSU in the bowl game. I think they could have beat LSU.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting to think about.
The LSU team that they put on the field for their bowl game, I think, and the team that Notre Dame put on the field for their bowl game, I think Notre Dame could have beat LSU.
Yeah, it would have been really interesting because, and they had their quarterback out too, and they have a horrible defense. So then it would have been like inverse things where they would have the good offense, we would have the good defense. I don't know. I'm glad we didn't. Yeah. I'm just glad we didn't play them this year, though. I didn't want it to be who has 3 losses and 4. When we play them, I want to lead on the line.
Yeah. But I'm going to let you take the other callers, man, and I'm going to try to get to the spring game, the blue and gold game this year, man. I'm hoping that everything turned out.
Oh, that'll be beautiful, man. We'll be set up right out front in front of Frank Leahy. I'll have the flag up. Come by, man. We'll be there for sure. So you got a place to hang out, have some food, have some drinks, man.
Yeah. All right.
Beautiful.
All right, John, man.
Have a good one, man. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you. Thank you.
All right.
See ya. Here's my man with the energy, 385, making it come alive. You're coming right up, man. Give me 1 second. Jake Breaker. Can ND win a New Year's Six Bowl for once in my lifetime? It's insane that I'm 30 and I haven't seen one. Well, I'm 39 and I haven't seen one either. So take your misery and then add 9 more years onto it. And then that's my life. It's just almost unbelievable, the concept that Notre Dame has not won a bowl game that matters in any capacity in my entire life. Like that I can remember. Phil's saying 41 year, nope. Like that we can remember. Like if that doesn't tell you how far off the path of program building in appropriate ways Notre Dame has been, I don't know what does. You can't win one important bowl game in 39 years. Drunk. I thought of that, drunk. This show needs more sound effects. I thought of that. Number one is, you just said I had to remember that this is an entertainment product. I just personally insulted an LSU guy who does exactly what I do on the air for 5 minutes. I don't know what else you want for entertainment and drama than that. And then you're saying this show needs more sound effects. I'm looking into, I think it's called Stream Deck. And it's one of those machines where you could pre-program sound bites in, I think, and I could have that inputted into one of my outputs on this sound mixer. And then be able to, like, somebody says something dumb and I can hit the Beavis and Butthead button and it does something, like, whatever it is. Somebody who knows all this shit, tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to buy. Jay Carr, you know what a Stream Deck is. Somebody tell me what product I need to buy that I could just plug in a wire on my mixer and have that thing where I could input. I even have a list of the sound bites I want. Kelly winning is hard. Like, I have funny stuff, a bunch of, somebody needs to tell me what the right software, whatever it is I need. I think Stream Deck is the one where you can input a bunch of different buttons to different sounds and noises and then hit it. Jay Carr, you'll email me the link. Is that even what I need? Because I also don't want to buy something that isn't compatible or isn't what I need. What I'm looking in the market for is having a wire plugged into this mixer with a little box, and then I just hit the button for what sound effect I want. There's no delay. There's no nothing. I want to be able to hit a button live on the air when somebody says something dumb, boom, and then you do it. Somebody hit me up on that. Hit me up on that. 385, make it come alive. Happy New Year, brother. Happy New Year.
Hey, John. Happy New Year, buddy. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, but I want to know, did you end up going to the bowl game?
Yes, I did, brother.
How
yes,
was that? Dude, they said that it was above capacity. They had a capacity listed and they said that it was above it. What was that like, man? Did you bring everybody from Utah to the game or what?
Nah, man, I had an extra ticket. Nobody was going there. Somebody, don't worry about the hotel. Everybody's like, oh, we got plans and this and that. But no, man, but let me tell you this, man. Let me tell you this. When you go, no, I don't want the Sunbelt being the greatest thing. No, and I get it. I get it. You know, you said add 9 years, add 2 years onto yours, so I'm 41, and we haven't seen a major New Year's Six, right, in our lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, so I agree with you. But, man, it was awesome. It was great. I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you, maybe 30,000 fans that were Hispanic and 99% of them were Irish fans. It was great. It was great. The city was great. The whole damn town came out. Man, like, standing room only was freaking packed. Like, it was, I get it. It's the Sun Bowl. I get it. You know, but it's the second, dude, the town came out, the receiving. I got to meet Charles Agasol. You know what I mean? I got to meet Charles Jackson. I got a picture with him, with Junior Halemaka. Dude, it was an amazing time. The whole thing was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
The fans, everything.
And you know what, man? Notre Dame played great. I expected Notre Dame to win. I picked them to win in my USA Today picks and all that. However, I wasn't expecting them to play that good, man. They played better than I thought. The defense was as good as advertised. I did not expect that offense to do nearly what it did, even against a not normal full Oregon State team. I was impressed. It was about as good as you could do being in a game you don't want to be in.
No, right? And then, let me tell you about an oxymoron moment I had. I'm sitting next to Jabron Payne while I'm ready to come back home. And I didn't think, not Jabron Payne, Jadarian Price. And I had to look at the book and I'm like, oh man, I had a board by the time I couldn't recognize that it was him because he looked so big, in his interviews. But yeah, the offense played great. Angeli looked really good, man. It's gonna be if he doesn't transfer, it's gonna be a hell of a QB battle. The defense was amazing. I mean, I just don't know what could have went wrong in that game if there was anything to go wrong. They played really, really well, man, for a bunch of starters, and kind of like we're gonna put something together. But you did notice people like me and you would notice why they were going to the 2, 3 tight end set, because we only had 3 wide receivers. You only had Greathouse and Thomas and Faison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you knew why they were running the offense, which honestly I would give Gaduli a lot of credit, man, for them, the way they did that. The way they doubled up those tight ends and brought it and the play calling. I might hat off to him for that play calling for that game.
Yeah. And man, what do you think of the Denbrock news? How did you react to that? I think it's a home run, man. I think you turned one of my biggest worries that could be an anchor that holds down all the other good things. It went from a worry to a comfort. And that is a big deal. That is a huge hire. It balances out the staff with old heads you trust that have low ego on each side of the ball to support Marcus. I love it. Things feel like they're starting to come together, man. But again, I don't want to be the guy who just says that and then we're all miserable again. I don't know, but it feels like real changes are happening. Am I an idiot?
No, you're not, man. Well, in a sense, we're all skeptics, right? But no, I think you're right, man. I mean, look, you hit the nail on the head. I think that's a home run, man. Anytime we could steal something from Kelly, and the damn Big Ten gave him 10 wins, anyways. But anytime we could steal something from Kelly as good as Mike Denbrock, man, is awesome, right? He's been at Cincinnati. He's been at Notre Dame a few times. You got to remember the guys that came out during his era. Who was there? Brady Quinn, Jeff Samardzija, Maurice Stovall, Fasano, those type of guys. He's familiar with the culture. He knows why kids want to come to Notre Dame, how to get kids to Notre Dame. You know what I mean? It's cold. It's miserable. The South Bend has the highest, I think, murder rate in Indiana right now. Someone was telling me, but it's still Notre Dame, and he gets that. He loves the culture. He loves the community. They love him. So I think, man, we're gonna do just fine.
Yeah.
Especially as long as Al Golden State. I think year 3 is our year that where it's finally like here, not just here come the Irish, but here are the Irish.
That's a great way to put it. You need to turn a page, like the page needs to turn here eventually. And I feel like we're just starting to kind of see the light here. And it's all like the winning window here. It's just starting to it's just starting to open. We're not fully there. Freeman's not a finished product. The roster's not a finished product, but we're trending in the right direction here. The schedule lightens up a little. There are a lot of things trending up for Notre Dame, but it all has to come together. The right things have to be done to make it all come together. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I think with the like how some of the other fans mentioned that the administration, finally giving him what he wants, and you said it. They pulled the trigger on bringing them back as far as money wise, spending money on OC. And you said it best earlier. For Gerard Parker, he was learning on the fly, and this ain't a job to learn on the fly. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, it's very hard.
On a job.
It's too hard to have a head coach trying to do that and the OC. I just think you're spreading yourself too thin, and your risk exposure is too great at that point. And that's just where we were.
Right. And I seen an interview with Braden Lindsay. He said it best. He said, I think Notre Dame fans are just sometimes they're really critical. And he says, because when we're not doing good on the stadium, rather than cheering to kind of bring it up, because 80% of it just goes so silent that you can hear a mouse,
Yep.
And it's the truth.
It happens.
It's true. It's true. It's true. I remember being there at Wake Forest. Go ahead, buddy.
Dude, you can hear crickets chirping in Notre Dame Stadium a lot of times. It is wild. But when we're up, we're way up, and that place can be rocking. But when it is a no-name opponent or cold weather or we have a few losses, it is like being at a funeral. It is, the Notre Dame experience is wild, man. We just need to be elite. If you're playing elite football, we're going to be loud and proud, baby.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, John, I'm excited for year 3, man. I'm not going to take up too much time. Great that you're having the call-in shows, man. I'll keep listening.
Hey,
I'm excited for the offseason and I'm excited for the offseason, these new young kids coming in. You know, Bryce Young, Kadarian Young, you know, Liamoasa. And for the guys that stayed, you know, Riley Mills, Xavier Watts, what's his name? Howard Cross, you know, as far as defense, because we all know that's been the core to our success the last few years is our defense. So I'm excited, buddy. And man, I'm excited what your show's got going on in the future. And like I say, and I'll meet you there from Miami of Ohio. And like I say, thank you,
bro.
Thank you so much for giving us the platform, buddy.
If you're gonna make a trip next year, that would be the one where you'll recognize a lot of these screen names in the chat. We're gonna have a big group. Goolsby's a part of it now, and he'll be there, and some other former players are gonna come by. Like we are growing this operation. Everybody's invited. Miami, Ohio, book it now, baby. It's gonna be fun.
Right on, John, man. And until then, man, go Irish and onward Notre Dame, buddy. Take care.
Take care, man. Have a good weekend. Man, I love that dude because he loves Notre Dame. It ain't about liking me. It's because he loves Notre Dame. I don't care if you like me. A lot of people don't like me. Half the people who watch probably don't like me. That's just the way it goes. Steven Arado, when you have a top QB, you have a good chance. I need one of these Notre Dame quarterbacks needs to be plus. Like if you're looking at what is the quickest or easiest way to get Notre Dame where we want it to go, I just think it's having a guy at the most important position in sports be really, really good, man. Really good. Like Steven Arado says, who doesn't like you, John? I don't know. Half the Notre Dame fan base. Not all, most of the other people in Notre Dame media that do content. There you go. How about that? There's a lot of people that don't appreciate my delivery style. And that's can you guys hear that beeping too? Who calls while I'm live on the air? You got to know the schedule. What I was saying is, there is a lot of people that don't like me, even some of our own fans. They don't like my delivery. They don't like my delivery. Luke, I don't know if that's true, but if it is, good. Beautiful. That's fantastic. Luke, if what you're saying, Luke, is true, then it's exactly what I want. It's fine. That's fine. Everybody can have their own space in this niche. Everybody can do their own thing, man. Watch whatever you want. I don't care what people watch. Many folks don't like John's voice. It's not him personally. It's the only voice I got. I don't know what else you want me to do. Change it? You want me to get a voice modulator? I need to get one of those things. Does anybody remember in like 1998 when Kane came out in the WWF and he came out on Raw that one night with that voice modulator? Maybe that's what I should get. Remember? Somebody out there remembers that moment where Kane had the mask and he had that voice modulator mic where he was like, I want that. Maybe I'll do that. I'm just racking up enemies here. I got Ruffino, other Notre Dame shows. I don't care. I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to change. I'm going to keep doing it my way, man. I don't care. I don't care if you don't like it. Whatever, man. I'm just going to keep doing my thing. And the people that like it, we're moving onward and upward. Kevin J. Carr. The I made preparations if Notre Dame beat Ohio State to go after Kevin Noon, and I had pure gold, Jay Carr. I pre-planned a bunch of stuff either way, if we won or lost, to get ahead of it. The stuff I prepared to go after that guy was absolute gold. Notre Dame ruined it. I had the funniest troll shit ready for that guy for what he said going into that game, and Notre Dame blew it. It was a waste. I had to flush it. I had to flush it all. I had brilliant stuff. Humpty Dumpty, the egg falling off the wall. I mean, I had trolls out the ass, and Notre Dame blew it. So that guy gets the last laugh, I guess. All right. Anybody else that I've pissed off here or that now we have an argument with? LSU people, Ohio State people, and other Notre Dame people that don't like me. Anything else, or is everybody sufficiently pissed off at John for one reason or another? I don't know. But that's going to be it for the show, you guys. We're going to go do some things. Tomorrow night, I'm thinking we're going to have a Desiree. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes, Desiree. And that's not the way I try and run things here. It's not the way I try and run things here. I don't want this to be where I'm the only one with the voice. And if you disagree, then you're out of here. That's just not what I'm going for. But I'm thinking tomorrow night, maybe we'll have a drink or two and we'll talk about Notre Dame football and the playoff or whatever. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the calls. I don't know where Pat is. He's been texting me. We were texting last night about some Notre Dame stuff. So I don't know if he's got work, weird things going on or what. But he hasn't been here the last 2 days. I don't know. He's alive. I've been texting him. All right, everybody. Have a good day. We'll talk to you.